Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review
Check out our picks.
for season 6.
Bum.
Bum. That's right, Dragon. That's right. Rising suns, Dragon. Rising suns. It means good morning in Batuu speak.
Ah, I see. Rising
And
Sun's
it's
Day.
literally the only bit of Batuu speak that I know. Anyways. So, folks, we're here to do a kind of an unconventional Christmas in July episode. Now, we did a pitch for seasonal shenanigans for an overlay of the Frozen Ever After ride in Epcot, which would take inspiration from Olaf's Frozen Adventure. But you know what, Dragon? We're going to one off ourselves this time, and I feel like now we have a real context to build into here. So, Dragon, I don't know if you've heard, but Galaxy's Edge, it's not doing so hot.
Is that so?
I mean, there's a lot of factors that could be in play. You know, people might not want to book vacations uh, before Rise of the Resistance opens. I'm one of those foolish idiots who is going to take 2 vacations to see both the land, in its current state, and then when Rise of the Resistance opens, I'm sure I'll be there within a few months. But yeah, it's and of course annual passes are blacked out as well. But I mean, if you look around, it's kind of like a trending topic on in the Disney community now, Dragon. The fact that Galaxy's Edge, just as a whole, people are just. I mean, there's people there, but mostly the line is to get into the cantina. It's like there's not the big 2 hour waits uh for the Smuggler's Run ride. Like I'll say this, Smuggler's Run. Maybe this is an indication of really good capacity, but I don't know. It's sort of like a middle of the road wait time when you compare it to other attractions in the resort. Like I would say on average, Space Mountain still has a longer wait. Several things in California Adventure, like Guardians of the Galaxy and Radiator Springs Racers, consistently have longer waits. So I don't know, Dragon. It's an interesting situation. Now, Dragon, hot off the presses, did you hear the news that we got regarding Rise of the Resistance and when that's going to be opening up?
No.
Okay, well, it's going to be opening up. This is actually a weird situation. It's going to be opening up in Christmas, like or in December, in Florida. But then in Disneyland, it's going to be opening in a week, or I'm sorry, a month later in January of 2020. And so that means we've got a whole Christmas season, Dragon, where there's going to be nothing new at Galaxy's Edge. It's like the people that really wanted to see it, all the locals at Disneyland. Of course, Disneyland is a very local based park. They're going to want something new, Dragon. They're going to want something different. We need to lull the crowds back in, Dragon. We need to lull them away from Knott's Merry Farm and from Universal Studios. I'm sure they have like a Grinchmas or something over there, and the Harry Potter Christmas projection show. Dragon, we need to get them back into the parks. I'm sorry for this elongated intro, but you know what we need?
What do we need?
We need Life Day.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So what we're going to be doing, Dragon and I kind of put our heads together. We came up with just a few suggestions, Dragon. A few suggestions. I feel like this is a very realistic proposal. It literally starts with like just a superfluous giant animatronic dinosaur at the start of the land. So it's nothing Disney can't handle, right?
Right.
All right. So in all seriousness, so Dragon, what do you have to? You want to say anything before we dive into it?
Yeah, just one thing. Again, just put simply, what we're doing here is, we're taking advantage of kind of Disney of kind of Star Wars coming back in vogue with the latest Star Wars releases, and we're kind of taking the opportunity to kind of bring Life Day back. We're trying to make Life Day cool for the kids. We had the weird Life Day. We're trying to give them the cool Life Day, and that's kind of what we're kind of doing via Galaxy's Edge. I mean, it's the best way of kind of a foot in the door pitch as I can kind of start things off with here.
All right, so Dragon, let's just dive right in. Of course, just for reference here, to set the stage, this is going to be the Disneyland version of Galaxy's Edge, not the Disney World version of Galaxy's Edge. And we're going to be starting our tour, Dragon. We're going to be starting our tour not from the main entrance of Galaxy's Edge. We're going to be starting our tour. I'm going to set the scene, Dragon. All right? Do you mind if I start things off here?
If you can handle it, sure.
All right. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So we're going to be starting. We're walking, Dragon. Let's say we just got off of the Haunted Mansion, right?
Okay, we just got off the Haunted Mansion.
We just got off of the Haunted Mansion, and we're seeing. Let's see, what can we do? What can we do? Well, Splash Mountain's got a long wait, but that's right. There's a side entrance into Galaxy's Edge via Splash Mountain. More specifically, via Critter Country. So, Dragon, we're walking along the rivers of America, walking along Splash Mountain. We go down the stairs by the Hungry Bear restaurant. We're walking along the rivers of America, and suddenly the John Williams music kicks in. And we're in Batuu. We're in the forests of Batuu, Dragon. We're right outside of the entrance of the Rise of the Resistance attraction that is still not opened up. But alas, there's something that has been created. This is going to be a permanent fixture of Galaxy's Edge, but it's going to be introduced with this overlay because it's a creature that was introduced with Holiday Special. Dragon, what giant animatronic monstrosity do we see kind of lurking in the trees of the Batuu forests?
Well, simply put, it's the dinosaur that Boba Fett rides in on in the from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes.
So
how tall do you picture this thing being, Dragon?
Well, I mean, I'd expect it to be the scale. So, I mean, probably, basically, it's kind of essentially it's on the outside of like where it's kind of in that entryway, like right before you kind of walk, I guess, under like the into the opening, into kind of the archway.
No. I'm sorry. You're thinking of the Frontierland entrance. That's the Frontierland side. I'm sorry. We probably should have cleared this up. I think it would fit in better, Dragon. The Frontierland side is when you're right. You've got that little archway there. But I'm saying the transitional area between Galaxy's Edge and Critter Country has that big, long forest area. That's where the X-Wing is, Dragon.
Well, the point being in that area, that's what I'm trying to think of that area. So in that area, we'd have it there, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know, approximately maybe the size of one of the trees, right? I mean, like, what do you think in terms of, we have like an image kind of here for scale in terms of, the thing is really big.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to be to scale per se. Honestly, I think a way we could do it is we could maybe just have the neck poking out of the trees. Like, we don't necessarily need to see the whole animatronic.
Well, we don't need the legs for sure. We just need maybe
That's what I'm
up
saying.
To,
Yeah.
up to the saddle onward, to the saddle to the head, approximately. All right. Point being, we see again emphasis here. We see Boba Fett, the kind of the alien dinosaur-esque kind of creature that Boba Fett kind of rides in on back during the holiday special here. And of course, you can tell we're trying to legitimize the holiday special here in terms of even the ridiculous elements. We're trying to make it a little bit cool and kind of intriguing, especially for like the next generation who has no idea what the holiday special is.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, even people who know it will get a roll kick at, and people who don't, will just be, oh man, what is this? I got to go in here. What's going on here? So you go in. So Tiki and I are basically give you kind of like the optimal experience of like what all the kind of like walking you through what you have.
Like basically, if you timed out everything, saw all the shows and everything, which would be possible to do because it would be all timed out. Like Dragon, I've actually done a day at Epcot where I've done all of the festival of the holiday shows, like around the World Showcase Lagoon. It's possible to do if you time it all out. So I feel like this would be something very similar.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Okay, so let's see. So again, you walk in there, and you, of course, on your way in, you see, Boba Fett's. Basically, we're building up the idea that, oh my God, Boba Fett might be back here. And of course, we haven't seen Boba Fett since Return of the Jedi, since he went into the Sarlacc pit.
Mhm.
So again, we're kind of building the mystique already as we go in. You go in. I believe there's like, I believe there's, basically, if you walk past like one of the, I think there's like a gift shop on the way in, or like around the way in, or something.
There's like a gift stand,
Yeah.
yeah.
The gift stand they set the tone here where you have like you know you have a few life day items there, you have like decorations. It's basically a lot of hype for life day, and like a few signs and everything saying life day, maybe in a few alien languages. You see some of the red life day robes, some merchandise. It's generally just you come in like, okay, it's life day, it's something special, as in it's not your ordinary day in going to Batuu.
Even the nasty smugglers of the Black Spire outpost can have some holiday cheer, Dragon.
Exactly. So you walk in there, and let's just say again, generally, like in a perfect world, the way the experience would go is, you hit early in the day, you hit Black Spire Outpost. Now, Black Spire Outpost, typically at Black Spire Outpost, you have the kind of this speech, kind of built-in theatrical show that kind of takes place. You're basically Kylo Ren in the first order. They kind of walk you through, like, they've kind of taken over blacks. They kind of taken over the place, and they're just kind of looking for the rebel spy. That's ordinarily what happens. So what we've added to it here for Life Day is, you have the Kylo Ren. He shows up as the Imperial officers give him the whole rebel spy speech, and he really just kind of interjects once the Imperial officer
Dragon,
here.
let's mark this down as a trope. Kylo Ren is definitely the Scrooge of our holiday overlay.
Absolutely. So here's where things really get it going here. So the rebel, basically he's going through the whole rebel spy thing, but then of course we kind of add to it here. But then the first order officer here, he's going over. So so even if you're in the middle of your Life Day shopping, your basic points like, I know we're doing this on Life Day, and of course, like the minute Life Day is mentioned, Kylo Ren, he snaps here. He interrupts him, and he's all business around Life Day. Like, he hates the mention of Life Day. The idea is, again, he's absolutely the Scrooge. Kylo Ren, for obvious reasons that we've seen in the movies, Kylo Ren, he wants no mentions of Life Day because, the character reason for this, of course, he's the Scrooge of our theme
I
parky
mean, he
special.
took the life of his father,
Exactly, he regrets killing.
his
Part of him,
biological father.
yes, a part of him regrets killing his biological father. And of course, overall, he's killed his biological father, and he's kind of divorced himself from his kind of traditional family and Leia and Luke and vice versa. So, points like Kylo Ren hates Life Day, man. He just can't even bear like the sound because it makes him think about the choices that he's made, and he's just ticked off at life on Life Day, particularly. So, the point being, he's like, I want no mention of Life Day. I don't want to hear about Life Day. Just go about your business if it is not Life Day. He's just basically trying to cancel Christmas essentially by a Life Day. It's essentially what he's trying to do here. So of course, so basically, this is like towards the end of the speech. He basically makes like a big imposing kind of villain moment there, and then of course we have a gag before for any people who haven't just kind of quite walked off from this point. Hopefully, there's going to be a few to stick around. Basically, before the first door is about to disperse and go on their way, and the stormtroopers make their rounds, and Kylo Ren makes his rounds and everything. Right before they go away, as they're doing that, one stormtrooper makes his way to the stage because he showed up late, and he's just kind of panicking. Oh God, I'm late. I want to take off Kylo Ren. I wish him a happy Life Day. He says, "Happy Life Day, sir." And of course, like the minute this happens, then Kylo Ren basically pulls out the lightsaber. It lights up, and basically he kind of like strikes him down, like quick like slash across the stormtrooper. He falls down. A pretty achievable effect, and there's a little have like a big sound effect that plays. Everybody's like startled. We have these two stormtroopers off to the opposite side, kind of look to each other, and kind of they don't run off, but they march off at a jaunty pace of like, oh God, we got on a brisk pace. Like, okay, we don't want to take off Kylo Ren. Let's get out of here.
And then the stormtrooper's body is just just laying there for the rest of the day. Dragon, the actor is very committed to the role.
Oh sure, but let's
We
not.
have we have puppets of the alien vultures outside of Jabba's palace. We see. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Also, just to kind of mention it in passing, because I mean, Star Tours, particularly at Disneyland, I mean, you have a Star Tours around that area, right?
Star Tours is kind of on the other side of the park. but yes, it's in the same park. I wouldn't say it's in the same area.
All right, fine. Well, just in general, just to address it. So also just like kind of bridge the whole Life Day experience. Let's say
Honestly,
start.
in Hollywood Studios, Star Tours is going to be right around the corner from Galaxy's Edge, so that'd probably be the better comparison.
Which excites me. So, anyway, just looking at the point being, whichever kind of again, we're focusing on Disneyland. Let's just say, for argument's sake, if this were to also reach Disney World, it'd be a lot closer. But point being, regardless, just in the whole Star Wars of it all, Star Tours, which I love, by the way, love Star Tours. We all do. Star Tours has.
I know this is probably your first podcast listening to two idiots ramble on about a Galaxy's Edge overlay of Life Day, and it's mine too. Go ahead.
Right. Point being, Star Tours has a little bit of a Life Day overlay too. Nothing major, just like basically in the queue and just kind of like the destinations and everything as you walk in. Like they're all maybe a little bit of the audio, maybe just a bit of the queue and everything. Like all the destinations are kind of Life Day travel destinations, and basically the thing to bridge here is that Life Day. Here's the thing: if you want to be uber technical, Life Day, from what I understand, is purely a Wookiee holiday. But let's just, for argument's sake, what we're doing here. Look, for argument's sake, because no one's going to care, okay? No one's going to care because no one can.
Oh, I beg to differ, Dragon. It's the Star Wars fan base. Somebody's going to care.
The fact of the matter is, no, it's not even like a wide. Like, you can't find it like on DVD or Blu-ray easily. You got to search for it.
Like honestly, though, the holiday special is fascinating because, of course, I'm sure. Obviously, we're not the first people to bring this up, but it introduced Boba Fett.
It did.
So it's like you can't technically write it out of the canon. Like it's a weird gray area there.
Well, this is where I'm trying to strike the balance here, because obviously we're being very faithful to the holiday special. By the same time, we're taking a few liberties and kind of based on the fact that especially the next
generation. There's no
generation.
Jefferson Starship?
No, Tiki, there's no Jefferson Starship.
Well, you just lost Monkey's dad right there.
I think I'll...
Anyways.
Anyway, point being. So the fact of the matter is, so Life Day, basically we've extended it so it's not just a Wookiee holiday. The idea I would posit this, and we kind of stress this a little bit in Star Tours, that the fact is you have like kind of Life Day signs or destinations in many languages and alien languages, and basically, what if Life Day were a more universal concept? As in, Life Day is celebrated many different ways. It translates into many different titles and many different alien languages. So basically, everyone has their own personal version of Life Day. That way, I feel we're being true to the Wookiee Life Day as well as everybody's Life Day. How does that sound to you?
Sure.
All right, anyway, so moving on. Again, Star Tours is kind of a little bit of a footnote here. So let's move on to again, back to Galaxy's Edge. All right. So, Smuggler's Run. Let's hit. Okay, so you're in the park. You know what? Okay, we got the big kind of speech from Kylo. Let's go to Smuggler's Run.
All right. Now, one thing we have to set up, Dragon, and I don't think we really hashed this out completely, so let's hash it out now. Are all the cast members going to be wearing the red robes like throughout the day, or is it going to be something like, are they going to put on the red robes at night for the ceremony, or what?
Personally, I'd figure they're going to wear the full-on robes later at night, but they might wear kind of like a more vesty or like something a little bit more kind of day appropriate, like a version of the robe. I think you're going to have like the full-on kind of like ceremonial robes at the very end of things. What do you think?
Okay. All right, so Smuggler's Run. We see Hondo is interested in, basically he's profiting off of the fact that there's so many shipments going off around the holiday season.
It's essentially, I guess, the holiday.
And again, folks, like I said, basically we're turning Life Day from like this really spiritual Wookiee thing into fucking Star Wars Christmas, but whatever.
We've covered a bit of both. It's about symbolically what it is. It's about peace, and it's about peace times, and basically the idea is that it's peace. Life Day does literally translate into peace. That's essentially what the translation is.
Right.
It's about peace in the galaxy, and I'm just broadening it. It says, it's about, they have all these wars in Star Wars. It's always about worrying about the First Order, the Empire, whoever is causing trouble. And, it's just this one day where they can kind of like chill out, and they can all just one day where they can just kind of relax and like give gifts to each other, just kind of like kind of be with each other without worrying about the threat of like invasion or like kind of whatever your quote unquote Nazi regime is.
There's like a famous historical photo of of like a member of the Rebel Alliance and a stormtrooper shaking hands.
That's what I'm saying. We did draw a lot, especially by the ending, folks. We did draw a lot of inspiration from the famed Christmas truce of World War
Oh yeah,
One. That's
oh
kind of
yeah.
very much what we kind of like pulled from for kind of where we're going with Life Day as a whole here. Point being, though, so we're broaching. We have this the ceremonial and the religious and all that sort of spiritualness, I suppose. But of course, here we do a little bit of the commercial with it. What better character to address the commercial side of Life Day with than Hondo? So Hondo basically is making a very kind of Amazon-esque profit off of Life Day, or the idea is like kind of like a shipping store. So basically, our guys are usually smuggling something from one part of the galaxy to another. They're doing it on the behest of Life Day, kind of like a delivery service for Life Day. That's pretty much that's what we're smuggling. We're smuggling high-end Life Day gifts essentially. Then just to add like a little kind of jazz things up a little bit, Maz Kanata interrupts and basically she kind of lectures Hondo on the meaning of Life Day here, and basically says, you can't. It was times of peace, and we shouldn't be You should be overcharging people for like same day delivery in essence. In essence,
do we have an animatronic Maz Kanata?
I figured it was going to be on a screen because Maz Kanata as a character isn't. Well, I'm not poo-pooing the idea of animatronic. I just figured we already have like a really great animatronic with Honda. I just figured he's going to keep her CG. But
I'm just saying, I love animatronics that are like really small but really advanced.
That's true, T. But then you have the story.
I think an animatronic of Maz Kanata could be really cool.
I mean, look, it's fair. I'm just saying with Maz
Okay,
Kanata,
maybe let me throw this at you. Maybe Maz Kanata, like similar to the fact that like we're gonna install this giant dinosaur in the entryway, and it's not like we're just gonna get rid of it, right? Like it's still gonna be there after the Life Day celebration. So I would wager to say that with the Maz Kanata addition to the pre-show, you would be adding an animatronic, and then like once Life Day comes in, you can just do different things with Maz Kanata and Hondo.
Well, I mean, sure. By the same token, though, again, it's going to cost like an arm and a leg to kind of put a Maz Kanata thing in there. I'm not saying all I'm saying is
Dragon, dude, it's Disney, my friend. We're on the precipice of the Lion King being released. All right, Disney's doing fine. They can install an animatronic.
Okay, but the story problem.
Are you really worried about a Maz Kanata animatronic?
No, I keep trying to bring up the story thing, but
giant dinosaur that's just there for show.
I keep trying to bring up the story reason this can't happen, but then you keep getting me with all the animatronics. Like, I want my animatronics.
All right.
Story-wise, the only issue I could see with an animatronic Maz Kanata is that one Maz is on her own planet, and every time we've kind of checked in with Maz beyond this, she's always kind of off somewhere else, kind of doing something on a screen.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm saying, be kind of funnier, like, has like his Hondo as a screen somewhere, then Maz kind of surprises him, like, just kind of pops up there on the screen. Just kind of chewing them out there.
All right. So, anyways, we have a new mission, Dragon, and the mission definitely ties into the holiday special. And this is like, honestly, I think the biggest improvement over one of the big things about the holiday special, which is, of course, Kashyyyk and Chewie's family being taken hostage by the Empire.
Yeah, so we kind of pulled a switcheroo here. So essentially, Maz, in addition to like she's chewing Hondo out for being commercial around the holidays, and basically her punishment for him is like, I guess the idea is maybe she has some stock in what Hondo's doing, or she carries a lot of clout, as Maz Kanata tends to do. So she just kind of chews him out and says, "Okay, here's what you're gonna do, Hondo, to redeem yourself here. You're gonna surprise Chewie because she does have a soft spot for Chewie. She does. She forces Hondo to surprise Chewie by transporting Chewie's family from the First Order inhabited Kashyyyk. The First Order guarded Kashyyyk. So basically, we're going to transport the family from Kashyyyk to Batuu.
So that basically leads to a new film in the Millennium Falcon attraction, which is essentially we hyperspeed to Kashyyyk. We have some fun evading some TIE fighters on Kashyyyk, and I don't know, maybe we get any other ideas for that film, Dragon?
Well, again, I think the bigger addition, now I could be wrong here, but from what I recall, the biggest thing we'd be adding here is like a return trip, basically going to Kashyyyk and coming back.
Right.
And again, like the fun switcheroo of all this is too is that again it's kind of a reversal, like Chewie trying to get home to his family in return of like us getting Chewie's family to Chewbacca. It's kind of neat.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
So let's get into the Boba Fett of it all, Dragon.
Yes.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Of course, Boba Fett's something we've been waiting for a long time in the kind of the Star Wars lore vault. Of course, this has been kind of a vague tie into the popularity it's going to, I'm sure, rise with The Mandalorian, which looks really good, by the way. A little bit of The Mandalorian, of course, is the introduction of Boba Fett within the holiday special. Again, kind of simpatico, and he seems like very much like, okay, if we're going to introduce Boba Fett at any time within new things, I mean, might as well do it through the theme park with the holiday special as it was introduced way back when in the 80s, you know?
Mm.
All right. So the idea, basically, we're setting up Boba Fett here. So, like, at some point, basically, as you go into the park before you have like your big Boba Fett event, which we'll get to a little bit later, you have like cast members, you got troopers, stormtroopers, you got maybe some recorded kind of like whispers and murmurs, kind of playing on on the speaker system somewhere. So, like, as anywhere you go, you're going to hear like a little bit of speculation.
Just literally a loop of Han Solo being like, Boba Fett, where? I'm sorry. No, you're right. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, so you have kind of some basically people speculating over the rumors of Boba Fett's return. Like, did you hear who's back? It's Boba Fett. Like, oh, and that's impossible. He fell into a Sarlacc pit years ago, like decades ago. And that alone, it's an impossible feat to escape the Sarlacc pit. I mean, it's digestion for God knows how many years. He's got to be a goner. That sort of stuff. So, like, did we see Boba Fett? Like, is he actually in the park? Like, of course, we the audience, you walk in, you've seen again. If you know the holiday special, oh my God, there's Boba Fett's ride there, man. It's like it's he might be back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then you know what, Tiki, I'm thirsty. Let's go to the cantina.
Are you sure you just don't want to drown your sorrows because this pitch is so ridiculous, Dragon? Are you sure that's the reason why you don't want to go to the cantina?
Sure.
Anyways. Okay, so man, oh man, this is some of my favorite stuff right here.
Yes, so of course here's some deep cuts for the holiday special here. So we have right off the bat, the thing I want to get in there more than anything is just at the very least in the existing cantina around Life Day, I would like just either like a hologram, like kind of like a hologram or a poster, basically like a little portrait, something, a little kind of tribute to the B. Arthur character from the holiday special. I believe her name was Akmina. And basically, it's like it's either something like best founder. It's always a stretch to say whether she is like
as an exceptional servicer across the as an exceptional server across the galaxy.
That's the thing, like either an exceptional server across the galaxy. There's always the question of like, obviously we're not on Tatooine with the cantina. It's the question of like, okay, so the cantina, establishment, like how does that work in the Star Wars universe? Like, is it like is she like the Ray Kroc of the cantinas? Like, what's the deal?
I never considered the Ray Kroc thing, but
so we always assume like
honestly, I feel like she's just a really, really well respected, like kind of like how there's certain bars in the bar scene that are just super well respected. Like the original owners of I don't know, let's say the original Tiki bar in San Francisco or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but you know what I mean? Like there's certain bartenders like that are just super well respected, and that I don't know. I imagine it's something like that, like a Sam Malone.
Sure. So, yeah, exactly. So the idea is we have her just kind of like a little tribute to her there in some way, shape, or form, the best server in the galaxy, or just like she's well known all across the galaxy. Oh man, it's like I've seen like some restaurant employees who have like I go to some of my favorite restaurant, like I see one who's like is like she's the best wait she was voted by the paper or something like the best waitress in the the state. I don't know, well not the state, but it was like kind of a nearby area. But you know what I mean? I'm basically broadening it for what we do here, so I thought it was kind of nice.
Mm.
Anyway, so the point is like we have a little tribute to B. Arthur, but also we have a kind of a next generation aspect here. It's of course what we're doing with Star Wars now. It's very kind of next generation esque. So we have next generation in regards to just kind of like the next kind of era of trilogies in Star Wars and vice versa. So we have kind of a snarky B. Arthur esque bartender. Whoever the cast member is going to be the bartender is going to be kind of like a snarky B. Arthur type. Who's he really knows has a good handle on things, kind of like a Carla meets Sam Malone from Cheers vibe, Like she's like a little snarky, but respectful though.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully Carla. I can't just say Carla because obviously Carla, she's kind of the firecracker. But you know what I mean. But simply B. Arthur-esque, and B. Arthur like she was in the holiday special, where again she
But
had
I
a
feel
good
like it's a
command.
role that can be cast for both a guy and a woman.
Sure. I'm preferably woman, but by all means, yeah.
I'm just saying, if like I could see like a snarky guy in there.
Yeah, by all means. Anyway, so the idea is we have our B. Arthur-esque bartender. She serves you as she deals with the new management, which is the first orders. Basically, come in and you have like an
This is
imperial
one of my
officer.
favorite gags we've come up with.
So we basically have the idea. So again, in the holiday special, you'll recall that the idea is like the Empire is closing down the bar, and we didn't want to just we don't want to retread everything. We don't. So we figured what would be
Also, we
funnier.
don't want to give people the impression that the canteen is closed because
Yeah,
people will panic and.
exactly. So it's going to be there's a lot of confusion if you do it verbatim, especially in
Right,
like an
right.
operating theme park. So the idea here is obviously the bar is still open, but we have like kind of like a little bit of kind of a comedy of errors on the side here, where you have like an imperial officer and some stormtroopers, and the idea like the imperial officers like micromanaging, saying, "Look at these prophets! Look what are you
I
doing?"
imagine this guy's like a more incompetent Hux.
Pretty much. Imagine like in Hux and middle management. That's kind of what you got going on here. The guy just really doesn't know what he's doing, but he's given the title, so it's like I'll tell you how to do things right. Where just basically he has like no power whatsoever, and like our snarky bartender's like, yes, and officer, yes, yeah, sure,
Right.
yeah, you're doing right, of course. And we also have the stormtroopers, basically basically they're scaring customers off, and this is what like our bartenders like, can you get the imposing soldiers out of the way here? I'm trying to serve drinks, okay? They're scaring people away. It's like scum and villainy for a reason, folks. A little shout out to the actual better, well, I understand the better cantina, but
Also, Dragon, can I suggest a new drink?
okay.
Okay, spiked hot blue milk.
I got to tell you, just in saying that, I'm sure you had the best of intentions here, but that sounds terrible. Just saying spiked hot blue milk, it just sounds terrible.
I'm just saying, it's like kind of like how we have like a warm milk. Then you know what I mean? Kind of like it's kind of like a hot chocolate. Like a blue milk hot chocolate.
Yeah. Or you just have like an alien hot chocolate, just not go with the blue milk,
No, it has to be blue, Dragon. God damn it! All things are better blue. Dragon, I walked into a 7-Eleven the other day, and I was like, I'm going to get myself a blue raspberry Slurpee. And you know what? The blue raspberry wasn't working. And I had to get myself a cherry Slurpee, Dragon. It wasn't the same. Anyways, I'm sorry.
What are you, Russian from the 80s?
I'm just saying, there's some philosophy. Do you remember when frickin' Fruit Loops did like the all blue promotion?
Not really.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Let's keep this going.
Anyway, so let's see. Also, a little, of course, we gotta have some music if we go into a canteen. Of course, we have the incomparable DJ Rex. Of course, a former pilot, reprogrammed into kind of a DJ, played by the incomparable.
He's found his calling, Dragon.
That he has, and basically, the thing we'd add to him is he's one of these songs that he plays, that he DJs, is kind of a variation of good night but not goodbye, friends. You basically B. Arthur's big kind of moment in the sun from the holiday special. We have like
No, Dragon. I like this isn't going to be officially in our pitch because you kind of vetoed it. But I like the idea. All right, I'm just saying I like the idea of, if for those who like stick around at the end of the night, they get an extra surprise. Like if you're literally in the cantina when the when the Jack Wagner or I'm sorry, when the when the Corey Burton, Jack Wagner was the old voice of Disneyland. When the Corey Burton voice of Disneyland comes over, like, Disneyland Park is now closed. If you're in the cantina, Dragon, then the bartender has to sing that song and go around and dance with all the guests.
Fine.
And DJ Rex can provide the background music to it.
Yes.
Anyways.
Anyway, back to the actual pitch.
All right, so I really like this next idea. Tell them about it.
All right, so let's see. We have three. Okay, so we have C-3PO and R2-D2, and they're going around. Of course, that's the biggest thing I want to see in Galaxy's Edge at some point is C-3PO and R2-D2 going around the place, particularly C-3PO because I think that's awesome. And
I'm
of course,
honestly surprised that they haven't done that. Dragon, like me and my gang, me and my crew from SoCal, my SoCal crew, um, we ran into a prototype droid from Galaxy's Edge. I believe you can actually see that on one of the vlogs that we did. I think it's the Ghost Galaxy vlog from a couple years ago. And so they have working prototypes of droids. And honestly, I'm surprised that, like, I understand that they don't want a bunch of them running around, but if any of them get R2.
sure. What I'm saying is, so you have C-3PO, of course, if we learned anything about him from Return of the Jedi, born storyteller. I mean, he entertained those Ewoks literally worshipped him for his storytelling abilities.
Uh-huh.
You know? Well, I mean, I guess more it was more like he was kind of a shiny golden kind of quote unquote
Yeah,
god.
they
But
worshipped him because he was gold, yes.
sure, sure. But he still entertained him with some basically recaps the story of Star Wars. That was kind of cool. Anyway, regardless, I figured we kind of do that again here. And honestly, I think what they're actually planning to do with C-3PO. If I were a betting man, I'd bet they're gonna after Rise of the Skywalker. I think is it Rise of Skywalker or Rise of the Skywalker? Am I crazy?
I think it's the Rise of Skywalker.
Right. Sure. After the new Star Wars movie, I think then they're going to introduce C-3PO because we see a little bit of C-3PO in the trailers for that. I mean, best case scenario, we're going to have a little bit more C-3PO doing stuff, and perhaps maybe I'm saying generally our droid buddies kind of doing stuff. Perhaps that'll be the opportunity to cash in on that and bring him back and put him in the park down the line. That'd be my guess. Regardless, we have C-3PO and R2-D2. They're going around. Basically, it's kind of almost like like an Abbott and Costello routine in itself, kind of Laurel walking, kind of a droid Laurel and Hardy, if you will. C-3PO, basically, he's looping in the guest on what the heck Life Day is. In case anyone's walking in this park still not understanding, what is Life Day, man? Of course, the simple answer is it's Star Wars Christmas. But in all reality, though, again, it's about kind of peace times in the galaxy. It's about embracing your fellow man. It's about just, being, it's kind of like the Star Wars going on a break. It's more like Star peace times than wars. It's kind of what it really is.
Yeah.
But again, C-3PO is kind of being all earnest and just kind of telling you the story of Life Day and how basically it's about how people around the galaxy kind of celebrate time of peace for at least the day. And R2-D2 will constantly interrupt him, or the kind of basically, and they'll just keep correcting C-3PO. I know R2, I'm getting to that point. Just constantly. It's like, what do you mean? It's not how it goes. That is how it goes, you little cretin. Just I don't know. It's doing the whole. The classic C-3PO R2-D2 comedy is kind of looping people on what Life Day is. Okay, so other shenanigans. Chewbacca and his family. Oh, this is fun. So, of course, what we have currently in Galaxy's Edge is Chewbacca is working on an X-Wing, and, of course, has some trial and error going on there. But what if we add the family into the mix? So, again, this is the idea is in the story of the whole park. After Smuggler's Run, the family's been brought to Chewie. In perfect world, they have a little reunion, I don't know if it'd be at the end of Smuggler's Run on the screen, or Chewbacca's waving his family or something. I don't know. Point being, either that or here they're all going to embrace, and then preferentially at the end of the ride they reunite, and then we follow up on that here. So Chewie and Lumpy, who I'd imagine be an animatronic within the X-Wings, kind of working on from the inside, be my guess. Lumpy, his son, of course, because finding a small actor year round or seasonally might be difficult. I'd imagine. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm just assuming it might be difficult.
Itchy's the father, right?
Yeah, Itchy's the father or father-in-law. We never got confirmation on that.
Oh God!
I'd like to think he's the father-in-law personally. That's what I like to think, but doesn't matter. Point being, so Chewie and Lumpy, they're working on the X-Men, kind of some father and son togetherness around the holidays and trial and error. He'll be Chewie throwing his hands up in the air. Oh God, what is that? He'll be panicking over, get out of that thing, says. And then of course, they'll have great success, and they'll be kind of doing roars together, over victory and everything. So again, they're a little trial and error there. Meanwhile, you'll have later in the day, I guess, you'll have like Chewie and Itchy's bickering, just yelling a storm, and whether it's like father and son or father and or son and father-in-law. I like to think of it, son-in-law, father-in-law stuff. They're bickering, and then Mala comes in and
Just
breaks it
like
up.
pushing past the crowd, like just not giving a fuck.
Hey, like they're yelling, they're in each other's faces, and they're making a ruckus, and basically
Oh
Mala comes
god.
in, Chewie's wife, and basically breaks it up, and
Well,
she kind
you
of like
need a pornography hologram machine, old man.
I tried to put that in there, but you told me to take it out.
I vetoed that. I vetoed that.
It wasn't going to be as dirty, but it was still going to, it was going to do some VR stuff, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, no, in all seriousness, Mala breaks up the bickering, and like they shake hands, they make peace. And I didn't really put this one down. I figure, like, the romantic in my heart of hearts would like to think maybe have like a little bit of Chewie and Mala just like holding hands or doing something. I don't know. Like some husband and wife just kind of merriment around the holidays, like I don't know, something nice. I don't know.
Just go into Rondo's Roasters and have a nice romantic dinner together.
Well, sure, but again, they're going to be probably localized to that one environment. So they're just probably doing something in the area that just indicates husband wife. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Anyway, okay, so basically we broach all the Wookiee. Let's see what the Wookiee shenanigans are around kind of Chewie's meet and greet area, or kind of Chewie's showtime area, let's call it. Okay, so then we hit. Now we're hitting one of the big set pieces here. I hope it goes. I hope it goes over all right because it might be a little ambitious, but I think it's cool. Before we get to the big show of shows here, let's talk about Doc Ondor's. So Doc Ondor's Den of Antiquities. What kind of stuff we have?
Dragon, I can safely say Doc Ondor's is the thing I am most excited for Galaxy's Edge.
It does look
like I am more excited to go in here than I am to do the Falcon.
I mean, again, Ondor's looks really cool. I mean, all the merchandise in there just looks tremendous.
All the merchandise looks wonderful. All the animatronics look incredible.
Oh, yeah. So speaking of merchandise, we have again we have the robes, we have the candles, we have some mini aquariums which are from the holiday special, and the items there's regular fish which made no sense in the holiday special. It's called like fake alien fish are inside like the tiny.
We have blue hot chocolate mix.
Fine. Is it even possible to make blue hot chocolate? That's what I'm asking.
Just throw food coloring in there. Sure, it's possible.
I mean, it's chocolate, though. I mean, can you... Anyway.
They can make white chocolate. How do they make white chocolate?
I mean, I guess... Okay, well, okay, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. I guess we can. Yeah, okay. No, let me... I think I'm just going to veto all my objections to the blue hot chocolate. I approve of it now. You can do white hot chocolate, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, I completely forgot you could do white hot chocolate. And then I'm full support of the blue hot chocolate.
All right. Now, keep in mind, white chocolate might very well just be like a white cocoa plant or something, but...
Anyway. Right, regardless, getting back on point, so you have stuff I find a little mix, but let's see, you have like some Wookiee model kits, so basically Star Wars spaceships that are models, but had on the box like for Wookiees, it's kind of like like maybe like Kashyyyk styled models. I don't know. Let's see. Here's something. This is kind of a plot thing here. So again, we have lightsabers at Doc Ondor's. So of course, let's say we take the lightsaber display that is there, and we make it a little bit more eye-catching. We have like some red and green ones kind of lit up again, just kind of for like the Christmas of it all, without like being on your nose, like Christmas. It's Christmas, right? And the other thing would be that
red and green are kind of like two of the most prominent lightsaber colors, so I guess it works.
Yeah. And then also, the big thing is that they're really highlighting that these belong to the originals. The idea, like, these are the lightsabers that, again, at least in the salesman pitch, again, might be true, might not be true, being the idea. You don't know who you can trust and on Galaxy's Edge. The idea that some of these lightsabers, if not all of them, might be the original lightsabers that belong to, Luke and Vader. And, remember, they do lose a couple lightsabers over time, like Luke's lightsaber. I mean, we know where it ended up, but you know what I mean. So the idea is like a few might be fakes, just replicas, but then of course, for the purposes of our story here, some of them might be the originals. And you have like also broad spectrum for all the shopping things. Especially at Doc Ondor's, though, you have a lot of Life Day sales and deals going on.
Yeah.
All right. So as you go in the Doc Ondor's, like, oh boy, I can't wait to do my Life Day shopping. You're all excited. Boba Fett enters. This is the Boba Fett heist of it all here, folks. We're very proud of this one.
And Dragon, I honestly, one of the things I want to stress here is I want to make this kind of happen randomly. Like, I don't want it to be on the map what time this is going to go down. Importantly, just because, like, if people knew, I feel like this is so cool that if people knew what time this was going to go down, Doc Ondor's is a small space, it would get flooded. So I would say there's maybe like a 3 hour window of time in which this potentially could happen. I mean, ideally it's like a high noon scenario, right? But I don't know. What do you think of that idea of having random times for this to go down?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is a show that would go on while there's light outside, so you never would have it at night. Like at the latest, it could be like right before sundown. Basically, I'd imagine there'd be like roughly 3 shows within a day for this sort of thing.
Gotcha,
Like,
gotcha.
like morning, afternoon, and like right before sunset would be my guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anyway, but at random time, sure, by all means. Anyway, so Boba Fett, basically, this is like the big Boba Fett showpiece of the whole thing. This is the most Boba Fett that you're going to see here, where Boba Fett walks in to Doc Ondor's, and he basically holds the place up. He pulls out his blaster. He fires one round into the ceiling. Of course, like a pre-staged effect, so it's like like a little kind of like blast cap or something in the ceiling. So bam! He shoots. He gets everybody's attention. He takes a few steps, and he looks. Let's just say, for argument's sake, he looks to. He's moving towards Doc Ondor's, like behind what is it, like kind of that guarded kind of cage area. Yeah. So anyway, so he's moving towards Doc Ondor, and he kind of stops because he looks to his right and he sees the baby Sarlacc, which is really one of these really cool details they have in Doc Ondor's. They have a baby Sarlacc, which has captured my fascination with Doc Ondor's personally. And of course, it's kind of occurred to me, okay, well, Boba Fett's in Doc Ondor's, and he sees that that baby Sarlacc. He's not going to be happy with that thing. So he looks to it, and without missing a beat, with his blaster, he shoots into it. And basically, it's like a pre-stage sort of effect, where basically it's like. You hit essentially. I guess the effect is like you hit a button, and you have like kind of like a pre-stage kind of destroyed version of the Sarlacc case. It essentially is what goes on there. It's like on top of the glass, something happens.
It's kind of like the similar idea is to how they do the destruction in the Millennium Falcon attraction.
Essentially, yes. It's like a little switcheroo that kind of happens. A little
like a scrim effect, if you will.
Sure. So the idea is like maybe there's like a screen on top of the things. It's like a little perspective thing. Basically, the real Sarlacc thing might be a few inches deeper within wherever it's kept, and on the surface, you have like kind of a projection that basically shows you a destroyed version before it shows you the glass version of it. Anyway, point being, so Boba Fett walks in, he kind of stops, he shoots the thing just as like, oh man, I hate Sarlacc bits, and he walks forward. He walks to Doc Ondor, and he. And Doc Gondor, of course, being the kind of the scrupulous kind of essentially, he's tied into the underworld of Galaxy's Edge, right?
He is the leader of the underworld of Batuu.
Exactly. So Ondor, he warns.
He's basically the Jabba the Hutt of Batuu.
In essence, yeah. Okay, so he basically walks up to Ondor's cage here, and he tells. And Ondor warns Fett, says, Fett, you've been out of the game for a long time. Of course, he means a long time. For a long time, and you don't know who you're messing with. He hits a button, which essentially is like a little security button that summons a few of his henchmen. Let's say, for argument's sake, he has 3 henchmen, which basically are 3 cast members. One who's kind of a humanoid-looking one who's an alien-looking one, and then you have one that's kind of part cyborg. Again, we can't go full-on robot, because I'm sure that'd be really hard to pull off. So let's just say he's part cyborg. If you were robotic, kind of like.
Honestly, within the next 5 years, I think we could have a walk around IG-88 K2SO type animatronic dragon. It's not that far off.
I'm not shooting it down. I'm saying we need them to get from point A to walk outside.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm saying. So for argument's sake, and then fall down. Well, anyway, so Boba Fett he pulls out a thermal detonator, and we know like everyone fears a thermal detonator. Of course, we even had that gag in Solo with the thermal detonator. The thermal detonator has a reputation. I always love the idea of the thermal detonators. Basically, Boba Fett pulls out a thermal detonator. They all jump back. Oh God! And essentially, it's question: is it a bluff or is it not a bluff? Because one, Boba Fett's been gone for a long time. I think it's question: is that thing even still work? And of course, I mean, just the directing is like, is it a thermal detonator? Is it not? And he demands. Basically, they can't take that chance that he has like a real thermal detonator, or else they're all dead. So Boba Fett, what he's there for, what he's heisting from Doc Ondar's place, he's heisting one specific item. He wants, what does he want, Tiki?
He wants the Emperor's lightsaber.
Emperor Palpatine's lightsaber. That's right, folks. A little bit of built-in.
Emperor She Palpatine is really Darth Plagueis the Wise. That's the plot twist.
Anyway.
When he was telling the story of Darth Plagueis, he was really talking about himself. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Regardless, it's a little bit of a tie-in to Rise of Skywalker there of the whole,
Yeah, exactly.
So again, we're like building a little bit of the Emperor mystique in there and the idea, and basically what we have here. So he basically grabs the lightsaber, he's handed the lightsaber from the case. In the idea is like it's one of the real lightsabers, so he hands him the Emperor's, like quote unquote the quote unquote real lightsaber of Emperor Palpatine, which we did see in action all the way back in Return of the in Revenge of the Sith. So we're kind of reaching a few different Star Wars movies and all this stuff here, which is kind of cool. Anyway, so before Boba Fett then leaves, Doc, Andor questions, why do you want that? What do you want with that old lightsaber? Haven't you heard he's dead? And then we have I'm kind of proud of this line here. Tell me if this sounds stupid or not, because I thought this was kind of cool. Where Boba Fett says, "Funny, they've been saying the same thing about me all day, and here we are." Then he leaves.
So, in other words, Dragon.
Go on.
No one's ever really gone.
Sure. I mean, still, man, that's not too much. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah. It's a good tie-in for sure.
So anyway, so Andor then has his men follow him into the street. So basically, this is like the real high noon kind of standoff of it all here. Basically, it's 3-on-1, like three. They're armed with blasters and everything. It's kind of a standoff. Boba Fett, he tosses the detonator he tosses the detonator and hits the ground. It's a dud. It's kind of it's just basically literally the prop. He just threw the prop at him.
Uh-huh.
And while they're distracted, like they're all panicking, oh god, we just threw the thing. He guns them all down. It's like they flinch for a second. Basically, both pulls out his blaster. And you have like bam, bam, bam. You hear the sound effect, I'm sure, and just maybe a little bit of like something on them. They all fall down. Point being, you hear the sound. They all fall down. He picks up the detonator. Says, "Works every time." He was using that Boba Fett voice, Works every time. And of course, you hear the troopers on their way. And the idea here is, I'm gonna spice it up a little bit this way, right? So let's just say the outside of Doc Ondor's. Let's just say there's like an alley. Basically, there's kind of like a built-in alley where like an offstage area built into the set somewhere. And above that area, you have maybe a screen, like a kind of a hidden screen. The idea is that Boba Fett, he turns around and he hits his rocket pack, so he can base his jetpack so he can go away. And the idea is like as he goes, it begins a smoke screen. This smoke screen kind of covers his kind of a smoke bomb effect, where he's lighting his rocket to blast away, and on the projected screen up top, you can see him flying away. But the smoke screen kind of covers him on the ground. He just walks into like kind of this alleyway, kind of exits. Basically, he's disappeared. He's flown away as far as people can see. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, in the store, the troopers get there too late, and they have to clean up the bodies, and they're like interrogating, kind of the way the stormtroopers interrogate people in Galaxy's Edge. They're like, what did you see? Who did this? Where do you think you're going? That sort of stuff. All right, almost done here. Let's see. So we also a little fun fact, the Mubo droid depot, they have their constructed droid area. We have droids that are seasonally colored and also have like seasonal lights, so you have to kind of light up, red and greens, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take us through some of this?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me see. So,
you're hungry, Tiki.
Okay, so at Rondo's Roasters, Dragon, we have a new animatronic. I'm kind of proud of this idea we came up with kind of together, where we have a 4-armed alien. And this is kind of going to be a stand-in for the Harvey Keitel character. Or I'm sorry, the Harvey Korman, not Keitel. I'm sorry, I always get the two of those confused. The Harvey Korman character, the whipster. But the twist on this, Dragon, is that it's going to be a realistic Star Wars alien, kind of in the vein of like a Dexter Jettster.
Yes.
And so he's going to be like kind of like all like kind of like reptile-like, right? Like, how would you describe him?
Well, again, the idea is like we didn't want to just rip off, the Harvey Korman character from, basically kind of the one that looks a lot like Lady Tremaine from, from, and we're not the first to make that joke by any means, but kind of the Lady Tremaine looking, the big poofy wig with multiple
Yeah,
arms.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very much like Tremaine from,
From Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella. I don't know why I was blanking on the title there. Point being, uh, so yeah, I mean, kind of like I don't want to go too Dexter with it, but let's just say I was thinking definitely there's like a difference in skin, maybe reptile. Reptile like's not a bad way to go, but it's like you have to give him like the hair. Maybe the hair's like a giant hat or something. I don't know,
Uh-huh.
something like that. But like kind of forearms, but like not like wearing like a proper shirt and everything. Like not like Dexter. Dexter has like kind of like the. I'm not saying he didn't have a shirt, but he had like kind of like a little classier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyways, the point you have like that's kind of your cook who's providing you with things. It's kind of a gourmet sort of. Like you get kind of like a more Julia. It's like Julia. It's like more of a grounded Julia Childs. Like, imagine Emerald meets Julia Childs. That's kind of what we have going.
Oh God. Is he doing the whip whip stir routine?
Yeah, of course he's played by the animatronic is played by John DiMaggio doing a Harvey Korman voice.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, sure. Like, in regards to the cookies and the milk and everything, but the idea is we have blue milk creamsicles as well as blue milk in itself, and we have cookies, red cookies. Because I'm sick and tired of galaxies that have barely edible food. Like not they don't have simple food there. It's always like something extravagant. It's always something like you have to really I don't know. It's always
Well, hey, I've heard.
anyway. So let's see. So we have the so yeah, point being, like you have some, a little holiday theme thing. We have just, some straightforward, some cookies, some, blue milk creamsicles, maybe some blue milk in general. Again, I already went over that. But anyway, so the point is we have a little bit more. It just bothers me. Galaxy's Edge doesn't have just kind of straight food options. Like it's not just like the simple idea of like, it's just hot dogs, but give them like an alien name or something. It's like you have to have like these giant, this weird giant sausage concoction that they made, and you have this giant, kind of like some sort of like not jerky, but it's some, I don't know the point, like some weird jerky that not everybody's gonna like. They don't just have simple food items that just have like space names. I know it sounds like, well, you're not really being imaginative, but you know what, folks, you need something practical. You can't just dazzle everybody. You can't go too in depth with the fancy food. Somebody's just got to give them something direct. At the very least, around the holidays, you know what, milk and cookies. It'll work. They have blue milk. Why not just simple milk and cookies? Anyway. So let's see. Okay, let's move on here. We're almost the woods here. Okay. So with Boba Fett too, I want to acknowledge this. So throughout the day, any further Boba Fett appearances after the high noon show, I guess in between things, Boba Fett might appear here and there as like a cameo, or basically he'll be in the corner, like you basically be walking by and you hear all these rumors about Boba Fett, and he kind of shows up, and the idea is like if you see him, he'll like on top of his helmet, he'll like go shh, or like like shh, or else like little fingers in the throat, like kind of silk throat motion, like shh, or I'll kill you, that sort of thing. And beyond that, though, you'll see it's kind of like a trip. Like, oh my god, I thought I saw Boba Fett, then he was gone. And again, maybe using some of those kind of built away kind of exits and entrances and exits, like those alleyways, like those, the sort of like kind of the seedy, kind of like the you don't know what's around every corner of Galaxy's Edge, that sort of thing. And also, you might have a little bit of a meet and greet with Boba Fett too. Basically, the excuse for a meet and greet, like an interaction with Boba Fett, would probably be like Boba Fett's asking for a tip on the rebel spy, so you can like turn him in for the bounty. The idea being, so have a little bit of that built in there as well. Let's see. Of course, from what I understand, you have a cast member who's basically dressed as Rey. You essentially have Rey going around there. So let's assume Rey is part of the Life Day special as well. So Rey, she's looking for BB-8, or little kind of her cuddly sidekick BB-8 for the Life Day celebration. Of course, it's going to be the big kind of like coup d'état, the big the big show that ends out everything, the big Life Day celebration for the holiday special. It's kind of what we're building to with this. And Ray, she mentions like I guess in conversation, she's nervous about her speech. She has to give the big speech at Life Day, and she herself is feeling feared because she doesn't have a family, and she's kind of feels like she's not cut out for the festivities because of that factor. A little bit of a mini story with Ray going on there. It's just kind of endearing, kind of nice. I like to think. All right, let's see. So beyond that, so then we hit we're getting closer and closer to the climax here, folks. Basically, I imagine there'd be two things. You have kind of a bit of a pre-show to the ultimate thing here, Red. Let's say as the sun is going down, like around sundown, around that magic hour lighting, you have C3PO and R2D2. They're welcoming the folks, essentially welcome them to the big show, telling them to stick around because the big kind of like last big set piece of the whole Life Day experience is about to happen. So right before that happens, like they're welcoming folks. And we have like a little bit of a kind of a comedy of errors going on here with a little bit of a gift of the magi for the kids out there. It's just basically it's the whole you got me this, but I got you this. I sold my item to get you this. They have a little bit of gift of the magi comedy going on. Yes. Yo.
All right, where are we?
Gift of the Magi.
What?
Yes.
Gift of the Magi.
C3PO
the R2 thing?
Yes, the R2 thing.
Okay. Sorry, just go through that and then I'll jump in.
Anyway, so basically a little bit of gift of the Magi comedy here, where basically C3 is presenting R2 with a gift, then of course like through the the beep boop boop of R2D2, he's saying, "What? You didn't get me anything?" And it's just, what do you mean you forgot? Just the idea that R2's like he's claiming to have forgotten. Well, really, R2 didn't forget. We know he didn't forget. And then just like C3's real demoralized. He's feeling like Charlie Brown. It's like, what if you had gift from the Magi with Charlie Brown? It's kind of always feeling like you're like, you didn't give me anything? Then BB-8 kind of rolls by, and Ray in the earlier thing was looking for BB-8. It's like BB-8 rolls by, and he got something for C3. But oh, thank you, BB-8. A little bit of holiday cheer. He's getting there, and BB-8 gives him the thumbs up. And then just to add like a little bit more cutesiness to it, like how much cuter can you get? As BB-8 rolls around, he drags like a box behind him, and that's the gift for C3PO.
Oh my god.
Adorable. All right.
Okay, so it's showtime, folks. This is the big one.
Yes.
This is the big kind of like nighttime spectacular of Life Day on Batuu.
So in perfect world, everybody stuck around for the big final show of the night, like the big kind of like the big build up to what everything's been building to, and story wise, what we're going for here. So you have everyone showing up from earlier. You have like cast members that are all wearing the robes, like the full on kind of Life Day robes. You got some ribbons in their hair, possibly. They got some candles. They're walking around, right? They're all forming a circle. You have Chewie and his family taking center stage. The idea is all around like the Black Spire episode. You kind of experience a perfect world. The first thing you did when you got in the park, went completely full circle with all this. You have the fog machine and everything. There's a lot of fog in the air, just like there was with the Life Day, with the holiday special. Fog. And let's see. So basically the event's about to go on. They're all, and of course, the way a holiday special goes, they all show up there, Leia says some words, and they sing. That's essentially how the thing ends. But we kind of add a little bit of emotional crux to it all here, a little bit of story here. So as they're about to start the festivities, which of course earlier, as I said, Tiki, Ray's has to start off the celebration. She's feeling really nervous and like, oh god, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. So we're gonna kind of tie her story into all this as well. The stormtroopers, led by Kylo Ren, they enter they're about to crash the festivities and like arrest all these people, which leads to a big standoff, like proscenium stage here, like on basically where like Kylo Ren kind of stands at the Black Spire episode. The two of them are up on kind of a little stage area, I guess. And Chewbacca's like going for his weapon, and Kylo Ren has his his lightsaber drawn and lit up, and they're about to go at it. And right as they do, Rey she thinks quickly, and she she whispers something to R2, and then we see R2 projecting a recording. She projects basically a hologram that in the night sky will be this big kind of blue projection like on a screen or something above. Above our two characters here, like in the middle or between.
Yeah, they do the same thing with the Oogie Boogie Moon during Halloween. They have like a screen kind of hidden in the clouds, and then during the fireworks show, they have the Oogie Boogie like I am the shadow of the moon at night. So it would be kind of a similar idea to that.
Yes. So essentially, what the thing that's projected is the end of the holiday special, where again, like basically have to snip it out so it could be like kind of like something usable. Bear in mind, but it would basically be like a good part of the holiday special where you have like Leia giving this speech about about Life Day and what it represents. And I mean, of course, on the perfect world, we'd just be able to use the footage there. But of course, George Lucas is going through great lengths to destroy all the existing footage, which basically leaves all the VHS tape recordings of it. So in terms of how feasible that is, I can't tell you. But it's Disney and they have money, so maybe they could digitally recreate it or something. I don't know. Point being, you have Leia giving the speech about what Life Day represents. Basically, the thing that's been going on here is peace across the galaxy, and we overhear. We would overhear the Millennium Falcon taking flight. And you just imagine, like Kylo Ren, what he's thinking of his father whenever that thing takes off. So this gives Kylo Ren pause. It gives them both pause. It gives Kylo Ren and Chewie pause, and they holster their weapons essentially. Turns off the lightsaber, and then Kylo Ren commands his troops to leave. They both give each other kind of a nod of peace and respect. This is the holiday truce of it all here we're going for, folks. So again, like they gotta remember, these are two characters who really have a huge kind of axe they grind with each other over the death of Han Solo, his father and his best friend. Like they really hate each other.
Oh yeah.
Ew. So, of course, a little ceasefire on the holidays. Then Rey kind of echoes Leia's sentiments. Not like a whole speech. It was kind of like echoes. I think she, Leia spoke some great words there. And we should basically kicks off the restates the moral life day, what she learned about Life Day, and the fact family extends beyond the ordinary parameters, that sort of stuff. And they all begin the song, and then we have fireworks go off. It's kind of like fireworks and probably some John Williams score, and that ends the night out.
All right, and then we all go to the cantina to hear the B. Arthur style bartender sing the song and dance with all the patrons.
Not in my version, but by all means in your version.
Okay. All right, so Dragon, honestly, I think there's enough here to do a trope list, so why don't we go for it?
Okay, let's see. So we have a Scrooge and Kylo Ren.
Of course, big one. We have a family reunion around the holidays.
Yep, we have a little bit of Amazon, kind of like a little bit of a commercialism around the holidays.
Sure.
With Hondo.
Kind of maybe the idea of like profiting off of the holidays, like the commercialism of the holiday season versus the real moral of the holiday season.
Yes.
Before we go holiday truce.
I'm sorry?
The holiday truce.
Yes. The truce around, of course. We have red and green, a little color scheme within, like, the droids, as well as the lightsabers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go any further, perhaps we should have any final thoughts before we just kind of finish out. We keep going through the tropes here.
I don't really have a ton of final thoughts. I think this was a really fun exercise. I think just to kind of set the stage here, Dragon, I don't necessarily think the point is that hypothetically someone would go in and experience everything that we just laid out. Like this is kind of like a perfect day sort of scenario of experiencing everything. But I think the point is that it kind of feels like a living, breathing outpost that just happens to be celebrating a holiday. And honestly, Dragon, I feel like that kind of speaks to what Galaxy's Edge is about, kind of the LARPing element of Galaxy's Edge. So I feel like this is actually like as crazy of an idea as it is on surface level. I honestly think that what we laid out is pretty realistic. Like, honestly, the most unrealistic thing that we have in this whole thing might be the freaking animatronic dinosaur just blended into the background. That honestly might be the most unrealistic part of this whole pitch. So I think we did a good job with this one, Dragon.
Yeah. And I mean, overall, yeah, just I like to strive for authenticity within a pitch that you can believe would be like kind of like fit into this universe or whatever, like thing we're kind of pitching like the Christmas or holiday installment of. And so far, I mean, yeah, I think it all checks out. I mean, again, I was kind of a little worried about like if we were going too far with the big Boba Fett high noon thing, but it's pretty cool though. I got to admit. Yeah, I think it all worked out. It all works out pretty practical, and I don't see why they really couldn't do something like this. I mean, honestly, you're the one really put in the whole Boba Fett dinosaur thing. But again, it's kind of cool. Basically, if we're gonna have Boba Fett, then we should have that sort of thing. That's the thing. If we didn't go as big as we wanted Boba Fett, then it would have been overkill. But again, if we're really gonna go deep with the holiday special, I mean, perfect world. If they ever, of course, it's very unlikely they're ever going to do something like this. But you know what? If they ever did, maybe it would go over so well they would really, they'd get like an actual copy of the holiday special in a perfect world that we don't live in. You know, maybe someone would actually get Lucas, like, you know, knowing having the rights and everything. Perhaps they'd be able to release like an actual holiday special on the DVD or something, one of the re-releases of Star Wars. You know, maybe. Okay, let's see. I think like a bigger. Okay, let's go through any of the milk and cookies. You know, a little bit of holiday tropes there. Milk and cookies.
Of course, yeah. Right. But I like how our version of milk and cookies includes a creamsicle.
Yep, yep. Let's see. Of course, just, you know, holiday sales. You know, a little bit of holiday sales going on there. The not having family around the holidays. We got that with Ray. We have Gift of the Magi with R2 and C3PO.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, I can't really call fireworks Christmassy, but I mean, it's kind of festive.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's a thing. So let me see. Trying to think if there's anything. I mean,
I'm sure that we could come up with a variation of eggnog to serve at the cantina.
Sure. Probably like the green milk.
Oh, God.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I can really think of at the moment. I think I think we hit a number of stuff there. Okay.
All right.
Oh, traveling with Star Tours. You know, traveling around the holidays.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, so you know what, Tiki? I mean, this is in the spirit of what Christmas in July is all about. We take something very summery, very kind of non-Christmassy, and we kind of like walking into the realms of the holidays. Not necessarily Christmas, but you know what, a space Christmas, one could say, a space holiday, an all-encompassing holiday for all races, creeds, and species all around the greater thing we call the galaxy. You know what? It's just this is what the holidays are all about. But I can't help but wonder, Tiki, why can't at this point in time, why can't we come up with a good way of describing the process of coming up with these tropes and cataloging them, just kind of listing them off as we just have? Man, I'm at wit's end. I'm in the darkest hour of my soul here, man. I got nothing. You know, it's I mean, we look at all this gold that we spun here, and we have nothing to call it. No name for this thing whatsoever. Man, I'm having an ethical crisis, man. What do you have? I'm going to toss it to you. T, save us. Save me from this darkest hour. Will you please tell me, what can we call this wondrous process of coming up with these tropes and these little holiday connections, to seeing the DNA of what makes a good holiday special, in this case, a holiday overlay? Do you have anything, man? Anything?
All right, well, Dragon, after going through my limit of 2 drinks per ID at the cantina in Galaxy's Edge, getting a little liquored up, I think I've got some liquid courage to come up with a bold suggestion here, Dragon. How about putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
I like it.
All right. Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la.
Blue milk.
Good night, friends.
Creamsicles.
Goodbye, friends, but not good night.